All right. The June 8, 2022 meeting of the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is now called to order. If everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is charged with conducting hearings to determine whether an alleged violation of the city code has occurred. Decisions made by this quasi-judicial board will be based on the evidence and facts presented this evening. Our meetings are conducted in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order, and each case will begin with the city presenting its evidence of the alleged violation. The respondent will then present his or her case. Both parties will have an opportunity to cross-examine all witnesses. The board members may question any witness. Comments by both parties must be relevant to the case. Persons wishing to speak will be given an opportunity to do so by the chairman and must address the board from the podium after giving their name and address. Upon request, copies of materials submitted by staff are available for review. Board members are reminded to obtain permission to speak from the chair, and questions of the city should be directed to the attorney for the city. At this time, I'll ask all persons who expect to give testimony tonight to please stand and be sworn in by the city clerk.
If you plan to speak, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony or evidence you're about to give or present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
As per our norm, we will be taking cases out of order this evening. Our first case will be our first case, and then I will direct you to the next case as they come up. At this time, I'd like to take care of our ex parte communications. I'd like to ask all board members. Oops. Yes, anybody else has a phone, now's a good time to silence it. That's okay. First time's free. At this time, I'd like to ask all board members if they've had any ex parte communications regarding any matters coming before the Code Enforcement Board this evening. If you've had verbal communications, please disclose the sum and substance of the communications, when and where the communications occurred, and with whom it occurred. If you have received any written communications, please disclose the nature of the communication and provide it to the city clerk to be filed in the record. Raj?
I've had none.
None.
None?
None. None.
Very good, thank you. Okay, first item is the approval of the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes? And does anybody have any changes or edits? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Minutes kept. Motion for the approval of the minutes carries. Okay, our first case is case number 217044, which is the first case on your agenda.
Case number 217044, City versus Mutaz Marzouk for the property located at 7545 Terrace River Drive. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 828A1 permits application required. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Jose Silva. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. Jose Silva, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated on December 22nd, 2021 from an online Civics Plus complaint advising construction occurring at the residence. Upon arrival, I noted a retention wall being built in the rear yard. The work also included paver installation in the backyard. Prior to my arrival at the residence, Inspector Bennett posted a stop work order. On January 10, 2022, I checked with Inspector Bennett and ascertained a permit was not obtained. At this time, I completed a notice of violation with a compliance date of January 2022. No one was home, so I posted notice at the home as well as City Hall. Also mailed copies, both certified and regular mail, to the registered owner at the address. On January 14th, 2022, I was contacted by the homeowner requesting additional time. An extension was granted until February 10th, 2022. On February 10th, 2022, I checked the system and noted it was in plan check. On May 12th, 2022, I again met with Inspector Bennett and learned that the required engineering plans were not submitted and no permit was issued. I then set the case for the June MCEB. I have photographs I'd like to submit along with the stop work order.
We'll accept those. Thank you.
Exhibit number 1 is the posting at the front door. 2 to 4 is the excavation that's occurring in the backyard for the retention wall.
And as of tonight, there's still no permit?
Permit's still not pulled.
you.
And I have a email from Inspector Bennett that was directed to the homeowner and everybody involved in this case. I would like to read into the minutes.
Okay.
In reference to the paver project at 7545
Before
Terrace.
Let's start over and read the to and from so that we
Okay,
have a
excuse
complete
me.
record.
It's from Inspector Cheryl Bennett to Fastnet 5000 Gmail, which is the homeowner, Dallas Foss, Gus Carpus, Brian McCarthy, and myself. In reference to the paver project at 7545 Terrace River Drive, Mr. Marzouk is a homeowner. He was cited on 12/22/2021 by me for excavating his rear yard and paver installation. He came right in to get a permit. I spoke with him and said the application would need to be accompanied by an engineering plan for the retainer wall that is required as a result of the excavation of the shoulder of the road that runs behind his home. I suggested he speak with the city engineer and schedule a visit at the home for a recommendation to move forward. On 2/9/2022, I stumbled onto the plan application in the planner's office that had been submitted on 1/25/2022 and implied to Garth Carpus if the application had engineering. No, it does not, nor had the site been visited by Mr. McCarthy. I had a conference call with Gus, Brian, and myself to let them know that the application with site plan does not reflect the real issue, and once again, ask that the site be evaluated. On 5/24/2022, Mr. Marzouk called my office in response to the NOV. I discovered that no additional contact had been made from the city in reference to this application. I told Mr. Marzouk that the project needs an engineer to determine the structural wall required to provide retaining support for the road apron and drainage. I also told him I would email a copy with the timeline. That's it.
Thank you. Any questions for the code officer? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. To help me understand better, they were needing to get a engineering report to accompany them when they came over to get a permit, right?
Yes, sir.
The engineering report is something that the city engineer can do, or you have to hire a private engineering company?
I had to hire a private engineering company.
And how much would that cost? What kind of a range of cost would that be, would you guess?
Couple thousand, if that.
Mr. Snelling?
That
Yeah.
may be best answered by
By the, yeah.
building
Hang on, Rod. Hang on.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Mr. Snelling.
I just had a question about one of the comments in the narrative. It says it's contrary, the paving in the rear yard is contrary to the city code ordinance. Is there some, and is the permit going to cover that? Is there truly a violation of putting pavers in the backyard
It's
like
over
that?
100 square feet, so you're going to need a permit to put the pavers in. Also, you're going to need engineering plans for that retainer wall. This backyard backs up to Gadsden Drive in Orange River, which is about 16 feet from the roadway curb there. The yard has a slight grade, and what they did is they took the grade out, moved it back to make it flat so they can put pavers in the backyard.
But that's all legal. You can do that if you have a permit.
If you had the permits and the engineering plan for that retaining wall, since it's so close to the roadway, Inspector Bennett was afraid of rain.
I only ask because sometimes they have restrictions on putting any kind of cover over your yard, any,
Rod, then you.
okay, if you can cover you can't cover the ground with concrete or whatever, they have to have,
Impervious surface, yeah.
yeah. So I guess that's not the situation here.
Well,
With pavers, I guess.
If it is, it'll be covered during the plan review.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Rod?
Did we have a contractor on site? Is there a licensed contractor?
There was people there working. I don't know if there were licensed contractors or not.
Then we can ask
You can ask him.
And the other issue is it involving landscaping and just, because most paver companies or, they do provide the permit themselves before they do that. That's why, you know, I don't know, I'm just confused.
Well,
on
there is
this
no
issue.
permit, so that's,
There is no
whether
permit.
whether there's a contractor or no contractor, it's immaterial to me, because there is no permit.
Yes.
And the only way to get a permit is to have independent engineered drawings submitted for review
I understand that.
in order to be able to get the permit. So whether or not he has a contractor is kind of irrelevant at the moment.
Okay.
Brian?
But the question really, or the concern is, it's the retaining wall of where the water is gonna go, essentially.
That's one of the issues too. The retaining wall is gonna need engineering plans to make sure that it's structurally sound in order when it rains,
The water's gonna go to the right place.
it's not gonna wash off the back end of the yard there and onto the road. The road is about 16 feet away
Right.
from that.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir. Did the respondent want to say something? State your name and address first, please.
معتز مرزوق 7545 Terrace River. Okay, most of what he said was correct. I had several years actually of suffering of flooding issue in my backyard. So the main things I was trying to do is fixing the flood issue. Every time it rains, just even if a little bit of rain, I have the water goes all over my house. I do have an old father I'm taking care of. Actually, I'm the only caregiver. That's why I'm bringing him in here with me. So every day, actually, every week or every month, we do a major job of cleaning the backyard from the water, whether bringing pumps, to get the water off the backyard. So we decide actually to just get it cleaned, to level the ground. Now, part of leveling the ground, we needed a little wall, actually. If you can bring the picture back, I can show you exactly what we had. But anyway, we had a little wall that's maybe the other, that's the front. Okay, this is this picture, this is the back of the house. And the water is kind of a slope. We kind of level the ground. That's one thing. So the officer came over and she stopped the work. She stopped the work, and she said, "You need to get a permit." And I said, "Oh, actually, I came over to get a permit." She met me here in the hallway. She said, "You need to go and speak to the engineer, Mr. MacArthur, in the next building." So I went there and I spoke to Mr. MacArthur, and I told him, explained to him what exactly I need to do and what I'm going through, what's the problem I'm going through. And I think he had some little knowledge about it, or he a little bit knew about it a little bit. So he said, the way he said it, he said, "It's really not my department, but if you do it right and there is no problem in the future, no future problem, it should be okay." And I would speak to Amir, and he mentioned Amir, and he mentioned another, the inspector. But I went ahead and I applied for a permit. I apply normally for the permit. I've been checking actually a few weeks later, I got the notice on my door that I need a permit. I went ahead and I applied for a permit, and I've been checking every few weeks, and they say, "Oh, it's not ready. It's not ready." A few weeks ago, I called back. Actually, I got a notice on my door that I have a hearing. I don't know what I'm guilty with. I'm not really sure what I did wrong.
Well, I can
So-
tell you what, the violation is not having a permit, okay? Now, it sounds like you tried to do what you thought was right,
Okay.
but where it stands right now is you need a set of civil engineered drawings to allow our plan review people to review that, to ensure that A, the slope is correct so the water drains properly, and B, that the wall you're building is structurally sound so it doesn't fall on the road at some point. So you need to get a set of real drawings made
Okay.
in order to be able to get the permit. And that the violation is the permit, and not having the permit. The only way for you to get that is to submit a set of engineered sealed drawings.
But I wasn't told that.
Okay.
See, I applied for the permit, but they haven't called me, said, "Oh, you need an engineer plan," and with that. Nobody
I
have
think
told
they
me
didn't
that.
know until
And-
they,
and,
I don't
she-
think they
she had
real.
in her email that nobody
I don't think
notified
they
me.
realized that, I don't know, what you're telling me may be 100% true. But after they reviewed your permit application, they might have realized that you needed a set of engineered drawings.
Or take just a phone call for me, to tell me, oh, you
Here
need
we
to,
are.
and I would work with that. And I'm not really sure. I spoke to Mr. McCarthy, and I thought that's it. I thought that's the engineer. That's the city engineer. That's who I need to speak to. And that's what he told me, actually. And I wasn't sure what direction until I heard like 2 weeks ago where I was invited to this, to this hearing.
That's a good way to say it.
We like to say,
that bad.
we like to say voluntold, so.
Okay.
But
I'm-
here we
I'm
are.
willing
So-
to do the
but
engineering.
The bottom line is, you need to get a set of drawings made.
Okay,
So that
I
you
have
can
no
get the
problem with
permit. And, I would think that you would probably be asking us for an extension to do that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, I really know, especially on these days.
Yes, understood. And if you need, I don't know how much they know about who's available to help you do that, but they're the people to ask, and maybe they can help you, kind of lead you in the right direction of where to go
Is
get
there
that.
anybody in the city who can handle that? Actually, like,
Like I said, talk to them.
talk to them. Okay,
There used to be a guy up on Bush, but I don't know if he's still around,
okay.
okay? But that's where we're at, okay? Any questions for the respondent?
He answered.
Go ahead. You answered them?
He answered
Okay.
the question.
Thank you, sir. You can have a
Okay,
seat.
about the,
One more,
yes, sir.
do you have a contractor, licensed contractor?
No, I did it myself, but I had with help with some professional people, professional friends. So I did did the drawing with some friends, not like, I didn't hire somebody to do it. I did it myself. And with some little bit help with little helper, and some professionals, some other engineers, they direct me what to do. That's it. I did it myself.
Is that, because I think the
I don't, I
pavers
mean,
are
it sounds to
fine.
me that
I think the pavers are fine, but I don't know if the retaining wall, that's,
sounds like he needs a sign a sealed set of drawings. Am I correct?
No.
Somebody, I see nod heads. Can I get a verbal?
He needs a detail.
He needs a detailed signed and sealed drawings, right? Yeah, for the wall. Okay,
No problem.
okay, there you go.
that's it.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So will you need 30 days or 60 days to get that done or
I
more?
need a year. But these days, honestly, since that day she called me, I've been calling, trying to get an engineer. I couldn't get nobody, honestly. Anyone I need to get. There's not even 3-4 months. I couldn't get not even somebody for even 3-4 months. So I honestly need a year. I was thinking about a year, but I don't know what you think. If you can get me one right now, that's fine.
So,
Well,
any other questions? No questions? Thank you, sir. Have a seat. Okay. If there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll try.
Before he makes the motion, I had a question, Kristen. I noticed on the notice of violation, the address is Terrace River Drive, and on the meeting notes, it says Terrace Ridge Drive.
It's River.
It is River.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. In case number, sorry, 21-7044, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the city of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 7545 Terrace River Drive, Temple Terrace, Florida, with the applicable codes, Section 8-28, subsection 8, subsection 1. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer and other witnesses, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of all which is received and entered as part of this record of this hearing. I further move that the said violation corrected on or before. Now, this is the trick. We're in June.
Yes, July 13th would be our next meeting.
I want to do this one on August 10th of 2022. If the respondent does not comply with this order, or on or before the day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continue past date for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation. Any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, we have a second.
I think we need to amend the address. I think he did say, he actually said Terrace Ridge, and it's supposed to be Terrace River, but minor point.
Okay, so just amend you to correct the address to 7545 Terrace River Drive.
I amend to correct the address 7545 Terrace River Drive.
Okay, we have a motion as amended, and do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion is second. Any further discussion?
Yep, I'm not happy with the 60-day time limit. I just think we've been very consistent as far as 30 days, the person comes back, gives us some progress. I think it's a good way to get progress on the
I
situation.
understand, but, it seems to me, that's why I did the 60-day. In this case, he needs to go out, get an engineer, or, in 30 days, to sit with him to, I just wanted to
that's
do
why
that. I know he can come back and ask for extension. I understand that.
That's why I seconded it, because from what we've heard time and time again, 30 days is not
In
enough.
30 days, he'll be back
We've
here
been
asking
told we
for
need 6 to 8
extension. That's
weeks,
about it. So I'm
over and over
trying
and
to
over.
save the time and.
And I,
Yeah, one at a time, guys.
right.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think 60 days is the least we can do. I don't want to drag him in again, knowing
Especially
him and his father again.
Exactly, that's what I took
Knowing that
into
he's going to have to come back
consideration.
anyway. I think we can make the exception this time.
Okay. Any
Just, he's gonna have
any
to
other
bring his
discussion?
dad every time here.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. So what's happened now is you have been found in violation. You have until August 10th to bring that into violation. To bring it into violation, you need to get a permit. In order to get a permit, you need to get the drawings. If you are unable to get the permit by August 10th, you need to come back in front of us and let us know the efforts you have made to get that permit. If you cannot make it because of health reasons or whatever, you may send somebody in place of you in order to do that, okay? So, good luck, and like I said, talk to the code officers, they may have a lead on who may be able to help you get those drawings, okay? Otherwise, you're gonna be Googling engineers in Temple Terrace, yeah. You can, yeah, you're free to go, thank you.
Where'd it go?
August 10th is your deadline, okay? Thank you. Next case.
Next case, case number 220462, City versus Jorge Rosario for the property located at 9620 North 55th Street. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of section 1034, sanitation, keep premises clean. This case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. City has evidence of the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was originated by me on January 26, 2022, for duty to keep premises clean of a large item tarped in the driveway. I placed a door hanger with a reinspection date of 2/14/2022. My reinspection on March 12 showed no change, so a notice of violation was created on that date with a reinspection date of March 24th. I posted a notice at the residence, and a notice was also posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. On May 24th, my reinspection showed no change, so I prepared a notice of hearing on that date, and the case was scheduled for the June Municipal Code Board meeting. I've had no contact from the property owner, and at this time I'd like to submit photographic evidence of the site taken by myself on March 14th and May 25th, 2022.
We'll accept that, thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows the posting of the notice of violation, and exhibit number 2 shows the tarped covered item. The site is not in compliance, and I'm seeking a ruling.
Thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
Just curious, if he had a bigger tarp, would it be in compliance?
No, sir.
Okay.
What is it?
That's why I called it an item. I have no idea, sir.
Anybody figure out what it is?
Jacuzzi?
I couldn't,
Well, that was my first thought, but no, I decided that, I ruled that one out anyway.
Can you put the picture back up on the screen, please? Not that it's relevant, but
I'm not trying, I don't even know.
no idea what that is.
Well, I asked Mr. Rosario when I saw that he had signed in, he did tell me that it was a base for a CNC machine.
A what?
Base for a cutting machine.
Oh,
A CNC, oh, God, that's a big, CNC machine.
I would probably agree with that.
Well, I'm in the market for one myself, so
Might be able to work a deal.
so I know.
Maybe we can make a deal here.
What's a CNC machine?
That's a cutting machine. So you like lay a template out and it just automatically, it's got a router base to it and it just
Oh,
runs.
gotcha, okay.
Like it could create all the wood cuts for this podium or
Oh, wow.
Yep. And do many
shove a sheet of whatever in there and it
Okay,
for
very
guitars.
good. Any other questions for the code officer? All right, guys, that's,
Giant guitars.
all right, save that for afterwards. Any other questions for the code officer? Thank you, sir. Is the respondent here?
Yes, he is.
Did he want to say anything? Come on up. State your name and address for the record, please.
George Rosario, 9620 North 55th Street.
Okay, floor is yours.
When I believe when I got the notice on my door, there was 2 violations. One violation was I had a car parked on the side, which I did not know that I could not park it on the side. And so when I got the notice, by the weekend, I had time to go ahead and change it. I moved it over. And then when I read the second one, I had a misunderstanding of what it was. It says duty to keep the premises clean. I was not aware that the item that I have, the base for the CNC machine, would cause a problem. I recently just purchased a house in February of this year, and I was, moving from St. Petersburg to here to Temple Terrace, and I just didn't get a chance to do all the work that I wanted to get done with the house. I purchased the house, and the backyard is just full of trees and, overgrown stuff. So I've been slowly cutting it and trying to trim it to get it down so I can get a permit. So I would like to put like there's a shed over there, concrete slab already. I wanted to move that stuff there. I just haven't had the time to finish everything and get it done. And I did not know that the violation was for the machine. I thought there was like stones for the walking that you buy like at Home Depot, the circle stones that you step on. They were there from when I first purchased the house, and I cleaned all that up, and I thought that was keeping the premises clean and making sure the driveway was cleaned. I was not aware. Had I noticed that, I would have made sure that I get that thing moved.
Okay. Any questions for the respondent?
So there's no issues with you moving it, or what are your plans, I guess, as you say, what are your
I wanted
plans?
to move it towards the back, and this past weekend, last week when we had that little storm on Sunday, a tree actually fell down and hit my car from on my driveway. So I had to cut all that, get that tree cut and chopped up, and so I had start doing the help to do the back to get that all cleared, and then I had called the city, and they came and did my yearly free pickup for the yard. So I started to clear out everything in the back so I can get all that stuff, because it's very overgrown with trees. I guess the previous owner, they had planted like 1 million trees, and it's like a jungle back there. And so slowly I've just been trying to,
Aim it.
yeah, cut it and stuff like that. It's just a little bit hard. I work in Largo, so I leave at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't get back till about 6. And so the little bit of time that I do, I try to work on the weekends and stuff like that.
You think you can have the backyard cleared off enough in a month to have the,
Oh, yes, sir. I definitely, I don't want to be in trouble or anything like that. So I will make sure I do everything as fast as I can.
okay.
Welcome to Temple Terrace.
Thank you.
And just as a word of advice, you go to the website, all the phone numbers are there. If you ever have a question about anything, there's phone numbers for every single person that works here. If you don't know exactly who to call, you can call any of the numbers and they'll direct you who to talk to.
Okay.
So we're very easy to get a hold of, and You'll find that despite what's happening to you right now, we're very easy to work with.
All right, thank you very much.
Any other questions for the respondent? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do it. In case number 22-0462, I move that the city, as proven by greater weight of the evidence of the following violation of the city of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 9620 North 55th Street against the violation of section number 10-34 sanitation. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer Doug Allen, as well as the homeowner, along with other evidence, including photos, all of which have been received and entered in as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violation be corrected on or before our next meeting, which is July the 13th. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violations, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be our standard $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Okay, so you have been found in violation. You have 30 days to cure that violation. The cure for that violation is between you and the code officers. Just ask them what needs to be done. If you do not come in compliance by July 10th, a $25 per day fine will start, and that fine continues until you do come into violation, to come into compliance. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And again, welcome to Temple Terrace.
Thank you. Is that it?
That's it. Yeah, you're good.
All right, thank you.
Have a good night.
I will give you a call on that. Thank you. Sorry.
Next case.
Next case is case number 22-313, City versus Tanger Terrace LLC for the property located at 12318 North 53rd Street. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 828A1, permits application required. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Thank you. And gentlemen, just for your edification, we will be taking you'll see there's multiple Tanger Terrace cases. We will be taking them as a group but individually. Okay?
Cool.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, may I possibly give this drawing so the board can see as far as the four properties where they're located?
Oh, sure,
on
absolutely.
the
We'll
site?
accept that.
Just to be able to kind of get you guys up to speed a little bit, if
Okay.
you don't mind, sir. Then
And-
you can see the addresses, how
Yeah.
close they are, the shape of it.
Okay. Is this something they can put up on the screen here?
No, sir.
you don't have-
It's
okay.
not. I printed that off and
Okay,
put
why don't you
the
give
addresses.
it to Rod. Ernie, do you want to see it too?
No, I got one.
You got one? Okay.
Thank you, Lori.
Why don't you guys take this, it's the same thing, only mine's black and white. You guys
My neighborhood.
want to somehow get it to compare 'em.
Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. On February 10th, 2022, I was contacted via email by Community Development requesting a notice of violation to be completed referencing the open stop work orders at the residence. At this time, I completed a notice of violation with a compliance date of February 25th, 2022. No one was at home, so I posted the notice letter at the front door and requested copies be sent both certified and first-class mail to the owner of record. I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence taken by me on February the 10th, May 14th, May 16th, 2022, and a copy of the stop work order for plumbing, mechanical, and electrical for Reno in Central Square.
Is plumbing, mechanical, electrical, and what?
Mechanical, electrical, and plumbing
Oh, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, okay.
for interior Reno.
Thank you.
Okay.
Exhibit number 1 shows a notice letter posted at the front door. Exhibit number 2 shows the front side of the structure. Exhibit number 3 shows a screenshot of the site on Hillsborough County Property Appraiser's website before the vegetation was cleared. Exhibit number 4 shows the property after the site was cleared of vegetation. Exhibit number 5 shows a stop work order in Central Square for plumbing, mechanical, electrical, interior reno. I was questioned by a couple residents in my zone that I wasn't aware that this had happened. Just wanted to show the board as well. The site was very, very, you couldn't see anything. You guys can see the picture. It was a lot of trees, it was a lot of foliage. Most of them were cherry laurels, but there was no way that you could see 3 of the 4 structures that were on that property. It was very, very difficult. Until the site was cleared, I couldn't see anything back there.
Are these new construction?
Excuse me?
Are these new construction?
No, sir. No, they're not. Mr. Chairman, also the owner of Tanger Terrace LLC, Mr. Lowenstein, contacted me by email on February the 14th, 2022, and was directed by myself to get a hold of the building inspector, Cheryl Bennett, concerning the stop work orders on the site. On February 25th, 2022, Justin Dees from Dees Legal Group contacted me by email and asked for an additional month for his client to bring the property into compliance. The extension was granted until March the 25th, 2022. I met with a business associate, Mr. Davidson, on Friday, May 27th, 2022, and hand-delivered the notice of hearing to him for this evening's proceedings, and also discussed his progress towards obtaining the required permits for the work that had been done. As of today's date, the site is not in compliance, and I am seeking a ruling.
So the clearing of the trees is not the issue, it's the lack of a permit for mechanical, electrical, plumbing.
Yes, sir. The arborist could not ascertain what type of trees were taken down. Just seeing it from the road, going by every day, being the zone inspector, there was quite a few cherry laurels, but there was nothing that the arborist could do.
We're here tonight because of a lack of a permit for
Yes, sir.
for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Was there, like, how, if it's an existing building, they asked me that question, but how do you know, there is a new construction that happened on site?
Sir, just, mechanical, electrical, just trying to renovate and do renovations on the properties to try to enhance and make it, be more inhabitable. Like I said, I couldn't even see 3 of the 4 structures on the site. I was only able to see 1. That's the reason why I showed you guys the picture from the property appraiser, so you can see all that was heavily, you couldn't see. And then after the site was cleared, I could see that there, of course, had been things going on.
Okay. Any other questions for the code officer?
We're gonna discuss all 4, or whatever it is, I guess there's 4 buildings that are on this property.
Yes, sir, that is correct. That is correct. There are 4 homes that are on this site. That was why I gave you guys the first, the property appraiser, so you could see where on that map they are in location from one another.
And they're owned by the same owner?
Yes, sir, they are.
Any other questions for the code officer? Thank you. Is the respondent here?
Yes, sir, Mr. Davidson is in attendance this evening and would like to address the board, sir.
Okay. Come on up and state your name and address for the record, please.
Name is Levi Davidson. I'm going by the address of one of the properties right now, which is 12308 North 53rd Street. I actually live overseas part-time, and I'm one of the partners in this project. Mr. Lowenstein did reach out in February when we received those violations. We actually had a contractor who we did not know did all the work without permits, and then all of a sudden we were issued these violations. The contractor is not around anymore. We hired Mr. Dees from Dees Legal Group in February to represent us and try to figure out where to go with all this. After around 45 days of Mr. Dees supposedly working on this, towards middle of April, we requested from him an update of where we're holding, because we knew that we had another hearing coming up towards the beginning of May. And at that point, he responded that as of that date, he's not representing us anymore. And that's when I reached out to Cheryl Bennett and to Lori Smith to request another extension, and I flew in from overseas to deal with this. I have hired a licensed contractor who works in Tampa, works in Temple Terrace. He's working on all the plans. As you can see, I have here from all 4 houses. He, to find workers these days and find people that have the time is not easy. He is working on it. He already has plans of mostly done of electrical and mechanical. He's still working on plumbing to get it all in order. Once he has that all in order, he will be submitting it. He has been in touch with Cheryl Bennett in the past few weeks. And we, as well, he does already have a licensed electrician lined up to take care of that part, a licensed licensed HVAC technician to deal with the mechanical, and he's moving forward. So what I'm requesting is an extension to please get this all in order. We want to be in compliance. We took a property which was a tremendous eyesore for probably 40 years to the entire neighborhood. And you can ask anyone on the block what kind of eyesore it was. And we beautified the block. So we're trying to be in compliance. We're trying to do good things, and we're just asking for an extension.
Thank you. Any questions for the respondent?
Yeah, just what kind of time do you think it's gonna take to get those, the paperwork prepared and?
I spoke with the contractor today. He said he, as I said, he has the electrical lined up. He has the mechanical lined up. He's still working on getting plumbing lined up, a licensed plumber lined up with it. He said he hopes within 30 days he'll be able to submit it all, but if we can get 60 days, that would be great. So just so that we don't have to appear again, we are dealing with 4 properties. And
And you're the only person, as far as you're here from overseas, and there's no one else besides yourself that would be able to come in front of this group and give us an update on the status?
other partners are not local, and even the one that lives in South Florida, who had been in touch with Cheryl Bennett, it wasn't, because of his time constraint as far as his job, it just wasn't working out well. So that's why I flew in. I'm here devoted to it, and I'm working with, we worked with an architect, with everything, to have everything professionally done to be in compliance.
And the guy that you're using, he's local?
The contractor?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So would you be available in 30 days? I mean, we don't normally give 60-day, extensions. Are you gonna be around for 30 days or just?
As of now, I already extended my flight. I was hoping we'd be much further in the process. I came a month and change ago. I was hoping we'd be much further in the process. I extended it to June 21st. I hope that it moves much faster, but as you know, the contractors and all the licensed professionals are very busy. To get one to commit to job and do it as soon as possible is very hard.
I feel since.
Don, I don't want to hear about your feelings. I want questions only.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm gonna ask him, it's 4 properties, they're all already constructed?
Everything is done.
It's done?
No, the stop work order was issued when some people were doing landscaping on the property. There was no more construction work being done there.
I just wanted to mention, I don't have any problem with 60 days since it's.
Save that for the discussion. There's a time and a place. This is not the time or the place.
Is anyone living in the homes?
Currently, I'm living in one just because when I pay rent, I have a place to camp out in.
Right, fair enough.
Okay. Any other questions for the respondent?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to add something, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Mr. Davidson said that it was an eyesore, sir. I've been the inspector in the zone almost 4 years. It has turned around. Granted, wish certainly that the permits would have been acquired first. They weren't. But as far as looks-wise, sir, it's night and day. It looks very, very good compared to how it used to look.
Thank you. If there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
All right, I'll do.
Thank you. Thank you.
In case number 22-0313, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 12318 North 53rd Street, the violation being Section 8-28-A-1. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Lori Smith, along with Mr. Davidson, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of this, the record of this hearing. I further move that the violations be corrected on or before August 10th. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second,
Motion is second, any further discussion?
is it gonna be for 4 addresses, right?
You need to list all.
One
Maybe
case,
one at a time.
one case at a time.
Oh,
You get your turn next.
okay.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. So you have been found in violation for this particular address, which is 12318 North 53rd Street. You have until August 10th to get the permit to bring the property into compliance. If you do not get the permit by August 10th, you will have to show up back here and let us know the efforts that you have made, just like you did tonight, to get that permit. You may, at that time, you may ask for an extension. You may or may not get it. Okay? Thank you.
Was that motion seconded?
Yes, the motion was seconded by Rod. So, okay, but don't go away, because we still got 3 more,
3 more, I know. That's what I was about to ask.
okay? Next case, please.
I'll do it.
Case number 22748, City versus Tanger Terrace for the property located at 12308 North 53rd Street. Cases before the board based on alleged violation of Section 828A1, application permits required. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Smith. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing are both properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. February 10th, 2022, I was contacted via email by Community Development requesting a notice of violation to be completed referencing the open stop work orders at the residence. At that time, I completed a notice of violation with a compliance date of February 25th, 2022. No one was at home, so I posted the notice letter at the front door and requested copies be sent certified and first-class mail to the owner of record. I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence taken by me on the 10th of February, 2022, May 14th, 2022, and also a screenshot of the stop work order for plumbing, electrical, and mechanical interior renovations in Central Square.
We'll accept that, thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows a notice letter posted at the front door. Exhibit number 2 shows the front side of the structure. Exhibit 3 shows the south side of the property. Exhibit number 4 shows the rear of the structure. Exhibit 5 shows a screenshot of the stop work order in Central Square. As of today's date, the site is not in compliance, and I am seeking a ruling.
Thank you. Any questions for the code officer? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
The respondent want to add anything?
Mr. Davis.
Okay. Are there any additional questions? It's up to you. Okay.
I don't think we need.
Is there any questions, any additional questions for the respondent? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do this.
Thank you.
In case number 220748, I move that the city has proven by the great weight of evidence the following violation of the city Temple Terrace. City code exists on the property located at 12308 North 53rd Street. With the applicable violation code, section 8, subsection 28, subsection A, subsection 1. Permits required. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the Code Enforcement Officer, Lori Smith, and other witnesses, along with any other evidence, including photos and affidavit and the notice of violation, all which is received and entered as part of this record of this hearing. I further move that the said violation be corrected on or before August 10th, 2022. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before the day they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violations continue past that date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. So, once again, that particular address, 12308, has been found to be not in compliance. You have until August 10th to bring that property into compliance, or a $25 per day fine will ensue for that particular address. Next case.
Case number 220749, City versus Tanger Terrace for the property located at 12310 North 53rd Street. Cases before the board based on alleged violation of Section 828A1 applications permit required. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Smith. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Thank you.
Evening again, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance Officer. On February 10th, 2022, I was contacted via email by Community Development requesting a notice of violation to be completed referencing the open stop work orders at the residence. At this time, I completed a notice of violation with a compliance date of February 25th, 2022. No one was at home, so I posted the notice letter at the front door and requested copies be sent, both certified and first-class mail, to the owner of record. I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence taken by me on the 10th of February 2022, also May 14th, 2022. A screenshot of the stop work order for electrical, mechanical, and plumbing interior renovation in Central Square.
Thank you. Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none, does the respondent have anything to add? Any questions for the respondent? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Thank you.
In case number 22-0749, I move that the city has proven by greater weight of the evidence of the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 12310 North 53rd Street. As violation section 8-28A1 permits application required. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the Code Enforcement Officer Lori Smith, as well as the owner, along with any other evidence, including photos, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered in as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violation be corrected on or before August the 10th. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Hang on,
Quickly to clarify, that would be August 10th of 2022,
what did he say?
just August 10th.
Oh, okay, yes. So, clarified, noted. So we have a motion, have a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. So again, you've been found in violation for the address at 12310 North 53rd. If the address is not brought into compliance by August 10, 2022, a fine of $25 per day. You do have the option to show up again and let us know your efforts to get that permit, and you may or may not be able to get an extension. Okay, next case.
Case number 220784, City versus Tanger Terrace for the property located at 12316 North 53rd Street. Cases before the board based on alleged violation of Section 828A1 application permits required. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Smith. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance Officer. February 10th, 2022, I was contacted via email by Community Development requesting a notice of violation to be completed referencing the open stop work orders at the residence. At this time, I completed a notice of violation with a compliance date of February 25th, 2022. No one was at home, so I posted the notice letter at the front door and requested copies be sent both certified and first-class mail to the owner of record. I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence taken by me on the 10th of February, 2022, May 14th, 2022, also the 16th of May, 2022, and a screenshot of the stop work order for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing interior renovation in Central Square.
Thank you. Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none? Sure, absolutely. We'll accept those. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any questions for the code officer? Does the respondent have anything to add?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to add one thing, if you don't mind, please.
Sure.
An interesting fact that I'd like to share with the board is that this structure was built in 1918. That was 7 years before Temple Terrace became an amazing city in 1925.
Particular building, really?
Sir.
Awesome. Thank you.
That considered
Fun fact.
I didn't know anybody lived here before 19.
Is that historical?
Huh?
Is that
Neighbor's
historical
pet project,
site or-
Probably not. Been too much renovation done to it.
It's nice though.
Yeah. Okay, any questions for the respondent? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
In case number 220784, I move that the city has proven by greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on a property located at 12316 North 53rd Street, applicable code section 8-28A subsection 1, permits application required. This motion is based on a sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer and along with other witnesses, along with any other evidence including photos, affidavits, and notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of this record for this hearing. I further move that said violation be corrected on or before August 10, 2022. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violations continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any action taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violation committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. So once again, you've been found in violation for the address at 12316 North 53rd Street. You have until August 10th to bring that address into compliance. Just so you understand, each one of these addresses is its own case. So if you happen to get drawings for 3 out of the 4, but not the 4th, the fine will continue on the 4th address. Okay. Just so you understand. Okay. Just want to make sure that you leave here with full understanding of what's going on. Okay. And again, if something comes up and you're unable to get the permits for whatever reason, you will be required to show up again on August 10th and let us know what happened. Okay. Good luck. Thank you. Next case, please.
Next case is case number 22,
22, Jude.
no, we are gonna go to the fire case.
Okay.
So now we're gonna skip down.
2.
225294.
Okay.
That is Ron Mogerman, TT Holdings LLC, for the property located at 12909 North 56th Street. Case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 856A, fire alarm system not operational, Section 856, fire sprinkler not maintained. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Fire Inspector Cletus Squires. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Cletus Squires, Fire Inspector for the City of Temple Terrace. So this case was initiated on an annual inspection that I conducted on the property The inspection was first conducted on February 10th of this year. I had two subsequent re-inspections that I gave them time that were dated on March 11th, which 31 days after the first, and then again on March 31st. And each one of those subsequent inspections showed that no progress had been made on correcting the issues of the fire alarm and the fire sprinkler for the given address. They both are required to be inspected and maintained throughout the year and be inspected by a private contractor every 12 months. Okay, so on March 31st, after my second re-inspection, I came back and filed a notice of violation. It was hand-delivered, and I gave it to the store manager, Crystal Cater. I gave them in the notice of violation 22 days to correct the issues. Went back on April 22nd. No progress has been made. The property still hasn't been in compliance, and no initiative has been made, nor has anybody from the corporate side of the store contacted me at that date. At this time, I'd like to submit my exhibits for photo evidence.
We'll accept those, thank you.
Okay, so Exhibit 1 is simply going to show the fire alarm that's tagged and dated. As I stated, the code requires the fire alarm to be serviced every 12 months and remain into a normal operation. When I was there visually, and it still hasn't changed, it's given off an audible at the fire alarm. The store's not an alarm, but the box is doing the beeping sound, and it's flashing that it's in trouble or supervisory mode. So there's been no change since February 10th on that. The second photo shows, well, excuse me, the first photo was the green tag. The second photo shows the fire alarm. The green tag shows the fire sprinkler that was last inspected on July 2020. Same thing, it's required every 12 months. So they're out of compliance about 18 months on that, almost. And then the third, well, the third shows the fire alarm. So the one's the panel box. The second shows that it's in trouble mode, or supervisory, and then the third was the sprinkler. So on May 26th, I hand-delivered the request for hearing to same Crystal Cater, the store manager, and I also, at that time, viewed the fire alarm and sprinkler, and there was no change. On June 2nd, last week, I received a phone call when I was out in the field doing other inspections from Richard Mogerman. He's the property representative that we sent a registered letter to. He said he was representing the property owner, and we discussed the issues with the violations over the phone, and he said that he would not be appearing tonight in front of the board, nor with his client that's 87 years old that lives in South Florida, but he would try to reach out and contact the owners of the business that they rent to and get them to correct the issues. As of today, I've heard nothing back from neither party, the business nor the property owners, and I'm asking for us to move forward with showing the property in violation.
Okay, so as of tonight's meeting, the property remains in violation.
Correct.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
You may.
But it's the responsibility of the owner of the property, not the person that's renting, to get this, is that correct? To get this remedied?
Well, so we had this throughout the city. The property owner that owns the property rents to a corporation. This case is Dollar General store on North 56th Street. And according to his lease, that they are to maintain everything in the store and maintain it. It's their responsibility. And then I explained to him over the phone in our conversation, and he I didn't follow up on it, but he said that he is a real estate attorney, that he told myself. And I told him that the way we find in this jurisdiction is by liening the property. And he said he understood, but he had in his lease agreement that they're responsible for all liens to be paid also.
Bottom line is
From our perspective.
from our perspective, it's the
Still
owner,
the owner.
it's the owner's
The owner of the
responsibility.
property is who we go after because that's where you place the lien at. Okay.
And my second,
I'm sorry if I didn't answer that.
no, that's, my second question was, are there any, or maybe it's for the, for Tom or for the city attorney, are there any special rules or limits as far as fines, or is it just the same as a normal violation, or is there something special with like fire code violations?
Well, it's a health and safety issue, just take that into account.
Right, I got that.
But no, there's no special.
It's not some limit on, I mean, I know some things we have,
250 is the limit.
250 per violation is what the notice says on there, so.
Ernie has
I'm
something
sort of
wants
new
but we could also do a daily fine as well, right? If we wanted to, or is it strictly?
Again?
Can we have a daily fine, or is it a lump sum fine? That's what I'm trying to.
No, it'll be a daily fine. This, the notice, oops, right here. The notice is just your typical notice. There was no notice saying like it was a public health safety issue that would warrant a higher fine or repeat or anything else. So you'll have to handle it as you would any normal, your run-of-the-mill violation.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yes,
Go ahead.
I had a question. First, what business is it?
Oh, General.
Dollar General.
Dollar General, and it's open for business and it's operational.
That's correct. When I was there today, they were saying that they're going to temporarily close, nothing to do with this case, for some kind of internal restocking and regeneration. They're taking product out and moving it in, but it's going to be for like 6 days, starting probably tonight, and they'll be open by.
And they're aware of this hearing?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Sir?
Yes, which commercial facilities are required to have this and which are not, just for better understanding, because not all are commercial facilities.
The fire alarms and fire sprinklers?
Yeah.
Oh, by code, it's going to depend on the occupation, when the building was built, and the occupancy, when the building was built, and the type of construction that all triggers stuff like that, the square footage.
I have a question of the chairman.
So one last thing. So as of today, and when that store was built, it was required to have a fire alarm and also a fire sprinkler system. Okay?
Or maybe, I don't know, I asked you, I'm not sure.
Ask the question, we'll figure out who should answer.
He mentioned, it's our policy, or whose policy is it to go towards the owner? I mean, is that in the statutes of Temple? I mean, who says that?
Ultimately, the property owner is responsible for any violations that exist on the property,
Okay,
right? Because what your penalty is a lien, and that lien attaches to the property, hence that's why we make the property owner the violator.
I see. Well, it just doesn't seem fair to make a property owner fix that when the lease clearly says it's the other person's responsibility. I understand what you said, and I
Look at it this way, it's contract privity. We don't have a contract with the renter. Our contract is with the owner. The owner bought the property, the owner owns the property, the owner pays the property taxes. So the owner is ultimately responsible. However he handles it with his renter is up to him.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions? Samir?
So the issue is the firearm is not inspected, not that it's not working.
Oh, it's not.
Oh, it's not working.
It's not maintained, it's not working properly. It's not in a normal state. And
So is there any safety issues? I mean,
yeah, it could be. I mean, if it's not working properly, it's just the same as.
it's Dollar General, right?
So it's telling me something. I tried to go through the menu on there myself and with the type of alarm. So it keeps telling me it's supervisory mode. There's an issue, so got to come hook it up to a computer and service that. And I could not tell why it is an issue.
So potentially it would be citizen at risk, really. I would think so. It's a safety issue.
And just to add on to that, is your three criteria, one of them is gravity of the violation.
Absolutely.
Which would apply here.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions? Seeing none, thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
I will do that. You want to do it? Go ahead.
It's up to you.
Somebody do it.
All right, let me do it.
It's your turn, anyway.
Yeah, it's my turn, okay.
You can have a seat, sir. Thank you.
All right, in case number 22-5294, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exist on the property located at 12909 North 56th Street. Applicable code sections are 8-56 subsection A and 8-56. This motion is based on the sworn testimony the board has received from the Fire Department Enforcement Officer?
What's your title?
Okay. Received from the
Fire inspector,
fire inspector,
risk reduction.
okay, I can't,
Risk Reduction Officer.
Rich Reedus, okay. Along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violations be corrected on or before July 13th, 2022. If the respondent does not comply with the order on or before that day, they're ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violations continue past the date set for compliance upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violations, and any previous violations committed by the violator. I move that the fine be $100 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion?
I would like to make the fine $200 per day. I move because it's big and it's at risk at people.
We can't move, you can ask.
Well, yeah, I'm asking. No. I'm not moving.
Any other questions?
I would actually like to find them in violation tonight, actually, if that is possible.
Instead of starting the fine in 30 days, start the
Yes,
fine.
start right now.
You made the motion, it's up to you.
If I
to-
can
I
chime in.
don't know if that's even,
Absolutely, go ahead.
All right, remember, the way this is set up, because we don't have a repeat violation, you can make a finding that it's a public, a threat to the public health safety that would justify, a shorter time period. But usually the way it's set up is there's a time to bring it into violation. Now, as the city, we agree that, 30 days may be too far out in light of what the thing. So if you want to shorten it, you can, and
And
certainly make.
they are going to be closed for the next 5 to 7 days, so.
1 week.
yeah, okay.
So, and it's certainly, it's up to you
Yeah,
to modify your.
Yes, I'm willing to amend my motion for 7 days out, which would be what? June 15th, on or before June 15th,
So you're amend- so you're-
2022.
So you're amending, I need whoever seconded it the first time to second the
I
amendment.
agree with that because he attempted please.
Okay, are you seconding his amendment?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
But on
Hang on,
also, oh,
hang on. So now we have a second to the amendment. Any further discussion?
again, the monetary, what is it gonna be?
100. So far, it's 100. See,
Still-
that
still
part has not-
100?
That part has not yet been amended.
Oh, okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I have a question of him.
Hey, let him come up first.
Since you're familiar with these things far more than we are, is it reasonable that they could get it fixed within 7 days? Normally, is that
Sure,
reasonable? In your opinion?
Sure, depending what the system needs, and they don't have to order parts or anything. If it just needs to be serviced and inspected, absolutely. But each one of those inspections, the inspection process, if there's not some parts or whatever that they have to order, they get them done in a day.
So that is a good point, Alan's make, so they wouldn't really have an opportunity to come back and ask for an extension from us. I mean, is there any way,
I mean, quite frankly, they've had since March,
I get that.
February.
But if you can't get the part, or there's really some extenuating circumstances.
We don't know if there is or not. They've not talked to anybody.
But if there is there any way for us to?
Yeah, they
accommodate
can ask for a lien reduction. They can ask for a lien reduction after the fact.
True.
One more questions?
This is true.
Hang on, one at a time, guys.
This is true.
No, you do not have the floor, sir. Go ahead.
Well, you know more about this than we do, a lot more. I know all about accounting, I know nothing about this. So, how many days do you think it should be?
That's our job.
No, he can, we can ask him
I think
for professional,
knows better than-
professional
Well,
opinion.
You asked me for my personal view. I don't think, I mean, until you do something and force their hand, they're not, it's proven that they're not gonna do anything with the property.
Rod, you had something you
Yes,
want?
that's what I'm saying. He had so many attempts.
Yeah.
And since.
They still haven't even contacted me except for the,
Yeah,
people.
so that's why I
Okay,
agree
we have
with
a motion
Samer.
that starts the violation on June 15th for $100 per day. Is there any other additional discussion on the motion? And,
Quickly, just to answer Mr. Snelling's question, the motion for rehearing is also available to them so that if in the next, before you meet again, they get a timely motion in, which would be 15 days, or I'm sorry, 10 days after entry of the order, then they can get back in front of you about that fine, and the fine, any fine that may have run by
Okay.
that time can be backed out.
Okay.
Because of the rehearing.
Retroactive, okay, right, thanks.
so again, we have a motion that starts the violation, the fine on June 15th at $100 per day. Is there any further discussion? Go ahead.
I'd like it to be 250 a day.
Do we have a suggestion for 200? We have a suggestion for
That's what
250?
I second.
It's up to you if you want to amend or not.
I'm gonna stick with the 100.
Okay.
Go forward.
We have a motion and a second that has been amended once. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay, so the motion passes. Next case.
And just to confirm, that compliance date was 7/13.
June 15th. June 15th, yes.
I would like to jump to unfinished business real quick,
course
to
you would.
hear cases our, that building, official is still here.
Okay.
Case number 21-2827, City versus Robert Lawrence for the property located at 8610 Oleander Drive. The extended deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. Officer Smith will update the board.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This email came in from Mr. Robert Lawrence on Tuesday, June the 7th. It says, "Dear all, I continue to resolve this issue at 8610 Oleander Drive."
Before we go, who's all? Who's it addressed to?
The board member, sir, he was asking me
Who
to,
was the email sent to?
it was sent to myself, Tom Baroni, and Kristen Garcia.
Thank you.
Dear all, I continue to resolve this issue at 8610 Oleander Drive and submit the enclosed documentation of my sincere efforts in this matter. I hope all this indicates due diligence on my part, which it certainly is, and the board will grant me hopefully another extension to get this matter fully resolved to the city's satisfaction. An important consideration in all this fact is the engineer's report clearly indicates the deck as built is completely safe and presents no hazards to anyone. So that means the matter at hand is only the processing of after-the-fact permit and not the mitigation of a dangerous or substandard building structure. Enclosed with this email are the online permit application form, the engineer's structural report, and some selected email screenshots documenting my ongoing efforts to resolve this. Please share this email and the enclosed files with the review board at the next meeting. Thank you again for your patience and consideration.
And were all those attachments attached?
Yes, sir, I have it all together here. The engineer's structural engineer inspection, as well as his application, which he has not himself brought down to City Hall, and he would need to do this in person as far as his application. He is aware, but I just wanted to show the board what he sent me. This is what I.
Okay, so he has all the pieces, he just hasn't brought them down in person. And what's and once he submits that, what's the review time?
Mr. Dallas Foss is here this evening, the building
Okay,
official.
we'll talk to him after we're done with you. Okay, thank you.
So,
Go ahead.
so if I remember right, was this guy, is he not located in
That is
town?
correct.
And he's,
That
so
is
he's,
correct, Mr. Snelling. He went over to the Netherlands, and he was gone. He got to come back, I think one time he appeared
Right.
in person. He's back in the Netherlands again.
This is the second story deck?
The deck replacement, yes, sir, that is correct.
did he give any indication when he's going to be back again? I thought he said something last time. Maybe I'm getting
No,
cases
sir, he didn't
confused, but-
say any of that in his email, but just asked me to make sure that the building department had received what he had sent on the PDF, that the building official could take a look at that, as well as give you guys an update in his efforts.
So the reason he hasn't brought it down is because he's out of the country.
That is correct, sir.
There's no representative that could do this for him? Nobody? It's just,
Or not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
seems like an expensive trip to the.
Any other questions for the code officer? Sir? Just tell us who you are first, please.
Dallas Foss, interim building official for the city of Temple Terrace. This project, he submitted, I've been in a conference the last 3 days. I just got back today for this.
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to review the email. I did review the letter. He can appoint an authorized agent that's local to represent him on submittal of this.
Okay.
So I will be emailing him tomorrow.
Let him know that.
Let him know what the process can be to get him to come in compliance.
Okay. And then once, let's assume that, I don't know, let's say Monday next week, he has somebody bring it in. What's your estimate of how long it would take?
After reviewing the engineer's letter that he's submitted,
Yeah.
it'll be issued the permit within 24 hours. I can close the permit out per engineer's report.
Okay.
It's a quick turn.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions?
For him, just
Okay.
Thank you.
the same question I usually have is, what's code's opinion on whether we should give him an extension of 30 more days?
You should grant them the 30 days.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? With that, I'll entertain a motion.
Go ahead.
Try that one?
Or anybody, yeah.
Somebody.
This is the, just a quick one, in case, just remind me with the case, guys.
212827.
In case 216827.
No, 282827.
It's on the top of page.
Oh, okay. Yes, in case number 212827, City versus Robert Lawrence, for the violation permits required, I move that the city grant 30 days extension till July 13th, 2022.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nays? Okay, motion carries. When you talk to him, tell him that he's got some time to find somebody. He's got until July 13th to bring it into compliance, okay? Thank you. Next case, please.
Okay, next case.
Zero nine five three.
Yes, case number 220953, City versus Tobias and Renee Gluck for the property located at 10608 North 52nd Street. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 12861E6, fences appearance. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was originated by a neighborhood sweep on February 22nd, 2022 for a wooden privacy fence in disrepair. I left a door hanger with a reinspection date of March 7th, 2022, and my reinspection on March 30th showed no change, so notice of violation was prepared on that date. I posted the notice of violation at the site, and a copy was posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. My reinspection on May 20th showed no change, so a notice of hearing was prepared and the case was scheduled for the June Municipal Code Board meeting. This time I'd like to submit photographic evidence taken by myself on March 31st and May 25th, 2022.
Accept that, thank you.
This Exhibit number 1 shows the notice of violation posting. Exhibit number 2 shows the damaged and stained fence. Exhibit number 3 shows the damaged and stained fence, and exhibit number 4 shows the damaged fence. I've had no contact with the property owner, and the site is not in compliance, and I'm seeking the ruling.
Thank you. Any questions for the code officer? Is the respondent here?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Thank you. Since there's no respondent, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
In case number 220953, I move the city has proven by greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace Code exists on the property located at 10608 North 52nd Street, applicable code section 12-861 subsection E subsection 6. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record for this hearing. I further move that that said violation be corrected on or before July 13, 2022. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Next case.
Next case is case number 221492, City versus JR Premier Properties LLC for the property located at 608 Courtney Drive. Cases before the board based on alleged violation of Section 8-102-14A, fences maintained in good repair, and Section 10-3B, sanitation, grass, weeds. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Jose Silva. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing are both properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. Jose Silva, Co-Compliance Officer. This case originated on March 21st, 2022. During my inspection at the residence, I noted that the wood privacy fence to be in disrepair. At this time, I mailed door hanger to the owner and agent with a compliance date of April 4, 2022. The residence is unoccupied. On April 18th, 2022, I re-inspected the residence and noted that the privacy fence was still in disrepair and the front yard grass now to be overgrown. This time I completed notice of violation with a compliance date of May 3rd, 2022. Posted notice of home as well as City Hall. Also mailed copies, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the registered owner and agent. My inspection on May 3rd, 2022 noted the privacy fence still in disrepair, along with the front yard grass still overgrown. This time I'd like to submit 2 photos, posting of the notice and the front yard grass overgrown with the fence in disrepair.
We'll accept that. Thank you.
As of today's date, the property's still out of compliance. I'm asking for a ruling.
Okay. Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none, is the respondent here? Seeing no respondent, I will entertain a motion. Thank you.
In case number 22-1492, City versus JR Premier Properties, I move that the city has proven by greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exist on the property located at 608 Courtney Drive. In violation of Section 8-102-14A, fences maintain in good repair, and Section 10-3B, sanitation, grass, and weeds. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the Code Enforcement Officer Jose Silva, along with other evidence, including photos and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violation be corrected on or before July 13th, our next meeting. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violation committed by the violator, I move that the fine to be $25 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, just my usual comment that for consistency's sake, when we have multiple violations, we usually do more than $25. What do you, anybody?
Agree, yes.
So take it to, would you suggest 25 per violation?
That's typically what we've done, 25 per violation, although we state it as a single per day.
I can change the fine to be $50 per day if you prefer.
Okay, so you're amending your motion to, okay, whoever seconded it the first time, would you second it the second time? Who seconded the?
I did.
Okay,
I'm thinking.
okay.
No, I would not like to do that.
Okay, so there's no second on the amendment, so the original motion applies. All those in favor?
Wait. Oh, okay, I see.
Yep.
Never mind, I understand.
Understand?
I got you.
Okay. The motion has not been amended, so we are voting on the original motion unamended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
1 nay, motion carries. Next case, please.
Next case is case number 221989, City versus Estate of Antonio and Dukes for the property located at 512 Carolyn Street. The case is before the board based on alleged violations of Section 810213D, means of ingress, egress, maintain and good repair. And the next one is Section 810213C, roofs, maintain and good repair. The agenda on that one, to clear the record, says Section 810213B, maintain and good repair. The correct violation section is Section 810213C, roofs, maintain and good repair. And make note for that for the motion. And Section 1034, sanitation, keep premises clean, and Section 810218A, sanitation, shared area. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Director Baroni. City has evidence the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Mr. Chair, real quick before Mr. Baroni goes, that 8-10213C is in the notice of violation, so we have.
It's correct in the notice of violation. You just
Corrected
just
here.
got just a scrivener's error on our agenda. Okay.
Good evening. Tom Baroni, Code Compliance. This case originated from a citizen complaint that I received on April 14, 2022, for a boarded-up front window, vehicle parts in the front yard, a cluttered up boxes in the front porch, lumber in the driveway, and also in the side yard, unmanicured vines on the exterior walls, and vegetation on the roofs. Door hangers were left at the property with a compliance date of April 25th, 2022. My inspection on April 28th, 2022 noted that the ladder had been removed and the vines removed. Everything else remained out of compliance. A notice of violation was prepared with the compliance date of May 10th, 2022. I posted the notice at the front door and requested copies to be sent certified in first-class mail. I also requested a copy to be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. Inspection on the 16th of May noted no change to the other violations. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence of the violations taken by me on May 17, 2022. Exhibit number 1 shows the front window boarded up. Exhibit number 2 shows a cluttered front porch. Exhibit number 3 shows the vegetation and the tree debris on the roof shingles, unmanicured vines on the exterior walls, and accumulating lumber in the side yard. Exhibit number 4 notes the tree debris in the front yard. I'd like to submit at this time.
Accept that. Thank you. So I have 2 questions for you, Mr. Baroni.
Okay.
One is, since we don't see this particular section too often, what is a means of ingress, egress violation?
Well, a homeowner, in case of a fire inside the structure, they have to have access to get out of the structure. And if the window is boarded up, the egress and egress is prevented because of the boarded up windows.
Got that. And what particular sections remain in violation?
Okay, so what's out of compliance is, I just want to go through this, because it was. The only one that came in compliance was, for the vines. So they,
1030
8-102, 18A,
That's that's the only one that is currently in compliance?
yes.
Okay,
Because he did remove the ladder from the front porch, but there's other debris that's still there.
so just for the record, 8-10213D, 8-10213C, and 10-34 remain out of compliance.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for the code officer? Seeing none, the respondent is here or not here? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
So I had a question.
Go ahead.
One came into compliance, which is section 8102, subsection 18A,
Yes,
sanitation shared area.
that's correct.
That's came in compliance.
Yes.
Okay.
For the manicured vines.
Okay. And then we have 3 more violations still existing.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I just had, any contact with the
No.
state?
Usually they call me up and request an extension.
Right.
But this time around, they have not called me, so I have not made any contact.
And it appears it's occupied.
Yes,
It's occupied?
it's occupied.
Okay, so you said this time around, so these are not repeats?
They came in front of the board 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So it's outside the
Gotcha,
five-year window.
okay.
Okay, so it wouldn't be a repeat violation. And they were here for another case that Mr. Allen took, but it came in compliance
Okay,
for something else.
okay.
But
Thank
you
you.
haven't physically talked to anybody at the residence or
No,
anything like that?
this time around, like I said, usually they call me and they ask for an extension. This
Okay.
time around, they have not.
I'll entertain a motion.
Well, I'll try this one.
Thank you.
Complex a little bit, but try it.
You can do it.
All right. In case number 22-1989, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violations of the city of Temple Terrace City Code exist on the property located at 512 Carolyn Street with the applicable codes, section 8-102, subsection 13, subsection D, section 8-102, subsection 13, subsection C, and section 10-34, and section 8102.
No. 8102 was brought into compliance before the date of this meeting.
It doesn't-
Oh.
18A has been already.
Yeah, sorry. The 1034 was brought into compliance.
No. 8-102-18A was brought into compliance before the.
Yes, yes, so I don't mention that.
Thought he has to list that because later on he has to,
No, it was brought into compliance, so.
well, it's, okay, anyway, we'll.
Yes, then section 10-34. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, Tom Baroni, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violations, all which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no imposed violation of the code section applicable to section 8-102, subsection 18, subsection A, because the violation were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing. I further move the remaining violations be corrected on or before July 13th, 2022. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before the day they order to pay a fine for each and every day the violations continue past date set for the compliance. Upon the considering of the following factors, the gravity of the violations, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $50 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I second it.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I just want to say there's 3 issues here that aren't in compliance, and then it is a health and safety issue. as far as the egress. I mean, it's being occupied, there's a giant front window that if there is something, personally, I'm not sure $50 a day is enough. I'd say, I mean, again, for consistency's sake, at least minimum 25 per violation, so 75 a day.
I can amend it for $75 per day.
Do we have a motion? Who seconded it the first time?
I think
You did,
Alan
okay.
did.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the amended violation. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries as amended for $75 per day. Next case, please.
Next case is case number 22-2187, City versus Life Estate of Nathan Lamar Johnson, Oscar Johnson III, and Nadine Patrice Johnson for the property located at 9813 Morris Glen Way. Case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 10.3B, sanitation grass weeds. Case will be prosecuted this evening by a code compliance officer, Allen. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was originated by me on April 25th, 2022 for overgrown conditions. I left a door hanger with a reinspection date of May 2nd. My reinspection on May 4th showed no change, so a notice of violation was prepared on that date with a reinspection date of May 11th, 2022. I posted the notice at the site as well as at City Hall for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. My reinspection on May 20th showed no change, so a notice of hearing was prepared on that date, and the case was scheduled for the June Municipal Code Board meeting. I'd like to submit photographic evidence taken by me on May 4th and May 20th. I've had no communication from the property owner, but the site is in compliance, and I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance, and I'm seeking a ruling.
Very good, thank you.
I'm sorry.
We'll accept those, thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
No question, but this is the first site in municipal compliance.
Yay.
Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
All right, I'll take this one since it's easy. Let's see, where are we? Case number 22-2187. I move that the city is proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Terrace City Code did exist at the property located at 9813 Morris Glen Way. The applicable code section is 10-3, subsection B. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, Doug Allen, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and a notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. I believe that finishes our new business.
Yes.
Okay.
Unfinished business. Case number 21-1856, City versus Alma Aponte for the property located at 101 Deer Park Avenue. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Allen
Really? Wow, what happened?
for Section 8-102-13C, dated June 7th, 2022.
Awesome.
Wow.
Excellent.
Only a year?
So
The insurance
just
company
curious,
finally came in.
did he
Apparently.
get a settlement with the insurance company?
Anyone want to provide an update
I just,
at the microphone?
Friend, we lost our friend.
yeah.
Yes, I thought maybe everybody would notice that he wasn't here tonight.
Yeah.
We did.
Try to give him an application to become a member of the board.
Yeah, really.
He's gotten here so often.
At least an alternate, yeah.
They're actually in the process of installing a new roof as we speak.
Great. So the insurance company came through.
Apparently so.
Awesome, very good.
Very good.
Well, if you see him again, thank him for his being so tenacious. It was-
He was good about that.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Better than most.
Okay, let's move on.
Next case number 21-3530, City versus Rima Nihad Ramuni and Mohammed in Tabata for the property located at 8022 Terrace Ridge Drive. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight.
Before you,
Yes.
go ahead, finish this one, and I,
That one's done.
okay. Tom? Yes. The lady in the back, is she here for a specific case? She just wants to listen. Just wants to listen? Okay. Yeah, I just want to listen. Okay, well, you're welcome to listen. I just wanted to make sure if you were here for a case that we took care of you.
We have an opening for an alternate if you're in.
Yeah. Hand her an application. So, okay, let's move on.
Case number 216306, City versus Nihad Darwish for the property located at 6319 East 113th Avenue. An affidavit of noncompliance was submitted by Officer Smith for Section 828A1 dated May 12th, 2022. Case number 216827, City versus Patricia Jones Lewis and Dewan Dane Lewis for the property located at 810 Ben Lamont Drive. Extended deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. Case number 216926, City versus Khalil Abu Ahmad for the property located at 11901 North 53rd Street. An affidavit of non-compliance was submitted by Officer Smith for Section 810213B dated May 12th, 2022. Case number 221067, City versus Rachel and Nicholas Drew Teeling for the property located at 716 Druid Hills Road. An affidavit of non-compliance was submitted by Director Baroni for Sections 810213H, 810213B, and 810213C. Dated May 12th, 2022. And then I have a few affidavits to read not on the agenda.
Okay.
So we have case number 214950, City versus Point Plaza Lot 3 LLC for the property located at 8710 Harney Road. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Silva for Section 103A and 81665A dated May 31st, 2022. And now we have case number 162397, City versus Dudley A. Black for the property located at 9408 Hidden Ridge Place. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Allen for Section 810213B dated May 23rd, 2022. Case number 172613, City versus Dudley A. Black for the property located at 9408 Hidden Ridge Place. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Allen for Section 103B and 1035, dated May 23rd, 2022.
Awesome, thank you. Any other board action? Any new business?
Just wanted to mention one thing. I'm
Okay.
going to be out for the next two meetings, which is, if you look at the agenda, in July and August. I should be seeing you in September.
Awesome. Well, not good for you, bad for us. We're gonna have to retrain you when you get back?
No. I'll be watching you.
Be watching, okay. Any other new business?
I have a comment or question.
Go right ahead.
I see that we have a city of Simple Terrace official I've never seen before. Is that something that we could discuss for a second?
James, well, you just haven't noticed him before. James Chambers has been a city council member how many years now? And that whole time, he has been our liaison?
Yes.
So he has been here for,
I missed last month, and that's the only month I've.
yeah, he's been here,
I missed the others because, I didn't notice that. But
Yeah.
anyway, it's good.
yeah,
I'm not gonna come to, I'm
Yeah.
the liaison, I just sit here and watch.
yeah. And he's missed one meeting in the whole, in 3.5 years.
That's
So,
true.
but thank you for finally noticing him.
I didn't notice.
So did we do it right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did your TV break or something? Or-
Actually, I have Biden in office.
Why don't you come on up? Why don't you're here and you waited so long, we're gonna give you your 10 minutes of fame.
It's just like, the Lord's been gracious to me, and I'm a part of this country, and he calls me to be a leader for this country. But Jesus, what he did, he always went. He went. Now, when you with the Bible, he never sat in office. When he was on earth, he never really sit in the temple. He went out and check out on the problems to fix the problem, and he healed people, and that's what he did. He make sure that everything is all right. So now he said in Isaiah that the government shall be on his shoulder. So I am the one who's closing and opening for him. So I have Biden in office there for me. So while I'm on the street taking care of business, so when I get in DC, so everything should be quite where they supposed to be. And I have a great team Congress is helping, backing me up. So just, we have a great nation here, and I hope
Very
we
good.
all
Well,
work
thank you for-
together so we can get there and get things taken care of as we're working as a team.
Sounds great.
With the Lord, and good luck with everything. So my name is Martine Miller. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. Anybody else have any new business? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.